All right, so what's up this summer? What have you been doing?
I'm busy. I mean, when the season is over for the Celtics, I work for Fox Sports 1 covering all NBA playoffs. Then that's over, I cover NBA draft. When that's over, I cover free agency. So in the world of basketball media, and from calling games to being on radio to whatever, I stay pretty busy. And then along the way, I try to carve out time for this. This was important. I thought, especially for guys like Reggie, Sherm, Maxey, these guys are playing overseas. 100,000 or whatever it may be, it would be significant to them. And it'd be a big deal. I thought that we would have a good chance to win it. I'm a little disappointed for those guys. I wanted to come out here and definitely compete, but just staying really busy, staying active in the game. That's what I'm doing right now.
What do you miss most about the NBA?
The camaraderie of teams. That's it. Because I'm still in the NBA. I actually follow it more now because I need to report more on a broad scale as opposed to like watching people's sets, how to defend this or that. I have to watch it from an entertaining standpoint because I have to relate to the fans from an entertainment standpoint. So I'm not out of the NBA, but I'm out of the camaraderie of, I still fly on the team plane, but I'm not in that group. I'm not playing cards. I'm not, that's a special bond that you build, especially when you're on good teams or have great teammates like Jason Kidd or Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah. Like these guys, they establish a good sort of environment and good to be around. All of them very different, but all very positive in a way in which you feel like you can conquer anything. And that's like the day in, day out grind of preparing to win and winning or losing and then adjusting from that is what I miss.
Take us back to your time with the Celtics. What do you miss most about that team?
Obviously, besides being really good and thinking we're going to win every single game, almost like the crazy stories that went on.
Can you give us one, maybe?
Yeah, I came out with a lot of them. We've had guys like Kevin Garnett and Big Baby arm wrestling on a plane. We've had like the card games and the talking smack and but also being down by 20 and winning in the fourth quarter, like those types of things. Like you can't, like the craziness and ups and downs of the NBA is what you grow accustomed to. My life right now is very monotone. I love being with my family. I'm doing radio shows. I'm doing this. There's no highs and lows. The NBA, you get to learn to live through the highs and lows, just like the fans live through the highs and lows.
So we know you're nicknamed the White Mamba. Can you compare yourself to the Black Mamba?
Yeah, there's just one major difference. We're both snakes. We both are, aggressively looking to score late in the game in the fourth quarter. The difference is, I guess, his game would be close and my game would be like up 20. That's a big difference. But the crowd and the anticipation of the Mamba striking late is absolutely at the same level. It's just like the heightened intensity with, like a game 7 of the NBA Finals versus like, Tuesday night versus Charlotte. That's the difference, but a lot of similarities. The Black Mamba is also like the world's most deadliest snake. I'm the world's most dormant snake. I kind of just sit back ready to strike late. He has multiple strikes, sometimes up to 40 a game, and he doesn't shoot at a high percentage with the venom just going everywhere. But with me, like I only have one strike a game. I got to make sure it counts, and sometimes I miss, and sometimes I make. It's just the way it goes, to make this league.
So real quick, your time with Chicago, anything special from there? You played with D Rose and Noah.
It's very special with the 3 places I played. In New Jersey, having an opportunity to play with Jason Kidd. I'm going to just paraphrase. You can cut this as what you want. So in New Jersey, I had an opportunity to play with Jason Kidd and actually be a rotational player. I was a rotational player for 4 years with that team, and Jason Kidd made me way better than I really was. With the Celtics, going through a couple bad years and then 3 great years where we were basically a championship caliber team. And winning a championship in 2008, going to the finals in 2010, and the bond I built with the city, I wasn't more of a fan favorite and not so much a rotational player, but when my number was called, someone would go out, I would go in, I'd do my job, and I was actually really successful as a starter there in Boston with a very good winning percentage and good plus minus during that time. And then in Chicago, I took more of a leadership role. Tom Thibodeau got the job from Boston, and he required me to lead young guys and to help them. In the first year, I think I did a really good job of that. The second year, guys were already on that same page. They knew what to expect at that time. So, but I grew a lot as a leader and learning, from the coaching standpoint. So I learned a lot about the game, playing for Tom Thibodeau, and so each one different. And then my fan connection with each one also very different. From Boston, and I'm just they treat their sports teams like we're celebrities that are just also normal people. And in Chicago, the fans, they treated me great. We were actually celebrities, and I was a celebrity, which is kind of weird, but it's just the way it was. So special connection with each place and special connection with each team.
So Doc and Tom Thibodeau, two different, kind of similar coaches too, both defensive minded. So can you describe that a little bit, their difference?
Here, difference. Thibodeau does defense, offense, and Doc is, he oversees. He's the overseer of defense. He's a mastermind on the offensive end. A genius with the pen. And we were good with he was good with the pen when our team wasn't good. He was unbelievable with the pen when our team wasn't good. That means drawing up a play out of timeout, late game, or anything like that. Unbelievable offensive coach, very open-minded coach, asks the why in things, where Thibodeau is very much a structured coach, and this is how we do it, and this is how we rotate, where Doc has more of a feel for that. The biggest thing about the two would be, I would say, the similarities between the two is they're both incredibly intense during the end of the season and the playoffs, and they both can get the players to rise up to a level that's quite remarkable.
Lastly, from Trojan to Trojan, just describe to me your experience at SC, and then also what you're going to do with that degree from history.
Yeah, good looking out. That's good research. I probably won't do absolutely anything with my history degree. I don't know if I'll go to law school. I don't think I will. I probably will continue to do NBA broadcasting, and I probably would be interested in maybe at one point going to school and learning more about communications, the business side of that. But as far as my time there, explain Henry Bibby was a fantastic coach for us, and he wasn't a fantastic coach for everybody. But for me, I would have never made it if it wasn't for him. The way he pushed and drove me every single day, almost to the point where I thought that he didn't like me, right? But that's what I needed. And we talk about it all the time now. He's in the NBA, and we talk about that, and I thank him every day for it, because, if a coach does exactly what you want from him, you're probably not getting everything you need from him. Bibby never did what I wanted to do. He did what he needed to do for us to win. I learned about the NBA really quickly from him. It wasn't a culture shock for me to go to the NBA after dealing with Bibby for 3 years. He prepared me for what I need, whether it be NBA, overseas, or whatever I ended up doing. I was prepared because of Henry Bibby, and I became hardened because of that. I was a naive kid coming in, loving the game of basketball, and thinking everyone has the same intentions. It's not that way. You got to learn to understand this player is a certain way and that player is a certain way. How can you get them all to commit to being the same for us to win? We were very successful. I don't think we ever would have beat Duke to go to the Final Four. I just think they were better than us. We played the best we could have played that season. We beat some teams that people thought we weren't going to beat, but we knew we were going to beat. So I really, not every day think about Henry Bibby or anything, but when I think about my career and how I got to where I got to, Henry Bibby had a lot to do with that.
All right. Thanks, Cal.
Got it.